LaRussell, what up, baby?
Yes, sir.
Hey, man. How you feeling, bro?
I feel good. Full circle. Jay Hill was one of the first platforms to interview me about 5 years ago in Atlanta.
Yeah.
One of my very first interviews. So this is a full circle moment.
Bro, I appreciate you, man. And I always do this, man. I got so many notes, man. So just in case y'all want to see, so you know I'm prepared. But it's like I get up here and it's like I don't even know if I want to go on the notes. I'm just being real. But like the first thing I want to ask you is, do you feel like LaRussell, the LaRussell of today? Because like you said, I interviewed you a while ago, but even then you was a big deal. But like you came through like you really put some work in, bro. Do it feel like you are where you are now? You about to do the Super Bowl. Does it feel like that right now?
Very much so. But I still feel like the same kid that was, then in the chair. Something dope with my team after we have all these big moments, we cheer and we celebrate and then we right back in it. So it's never like a moment of like, we did it. It's more so like we're doing it.
Man, it's a blessing, man. I always want to tell my people like that, definitely, because you helped me out, right? Like, yeah, I was one of your first interviews, but you was always a big deal, and that mean a lot to me. One thing that I didn't know, and I feel like a lot of your newer supporters or fans didn't know this either, like, you're a revolutionary. Like, I don't know if y'all understood when I say revolutionary, like, this man been talking about empowering our people since before it was a thing. Like, am I lying? Like, so when I'm listening to your older music, and I'm like, I want to ask you a question, and it might, I hope it don't make nobody feel uncomfortable. When you think about being black in America, right, especially today, like, what does that mean to you?
It means a lot. It means I have a due diligence to represent in a way that hasn't been done. We went to the news station the other day, and there was this older black lady in there. And, I'm one of the very few artists who actually is on the news actively, that get that chance. But after, I greet everyone in the room, and then I'm like, take me up to the broadcast studio where the producers be. No one goes up there, that gets interviewed. And I'm walking around, and this older black lady there, and she was like, thank you. Y'all on time. You representing. You showing that it's so much more to us and what we do, and people don't get to see this side of us. So, I understand that I represent a whole and not an individual in everything I do.
That means a lot, bro. And as I'm listening to the older music, I feel like I heard a shift, right? Like we talk about 2018 to all the way now to 2026. I feel like I definitely heard a shift in how you made music. Was this consciously? Was this, did you do this intentionally? Was it just hard? Because even in one of your songs, you're like, man, I hate 20K. Why I make that shit? And it's because, not that you didn't like the song, but it's like, man, I'm giving you guys a lot. This is me being vulnerable at my most vulnerable, right? Like, did you make a conscious effort to shift the music, or did it just change because life started getting better?
Yeah, I think it moved along with life and my ability and just where I was. Like, when you younger and you receive information, sometimes you only have a certain level of emotions that you could react through. I would say back then I probably had 5 that I could respond through. And as I've aged, I have a million ways to respond to something that happens to me and in the world.
That means a lot, bro. Speaking of that, right, like you said, you only had like 5 ways to respond to. What's something now that when you look back on, like, the music you made and your career that you was probably strong-headed on, that you had to later on learn that, this ain't really what I thought it was? What's one thing, if you could think of one thing?
Independence. What I thought independence was in the beginning and what I know it as now as a successful independent artist is drastically different. A lot of people think independent mean alone. And that's what I thought it meant. It's like, I'm self-made. I do everything myself. And it's like, that's wrong. I got 40 people who work with me and for me. You feel me? Like, it takes an entire village and system to be independent. I had a talk with a mentor of mine named Stretch really early. And I was like, man, how can I compete with the labels, as an indie? Like, it's almost like I won't be able to get in. And he said, if you want to compete with them, you have to build a similar machine. And that's something that stuck with me, which is why when you see me, I have digital marketing, ads, content, strategy, publicists, logistics. Every team you would go into a label and get is something that we had to build and recreate on our own so we can compete.
Yeah, I want to stay at the team real quick, right? I think one of the hardest parts about building a team in any space is retention, right? And what I mean by retention is getting people to believe in a vision and stay there for a long time because they're investing their time, their energy into you. I mean, they believe in you, fully investing. And sometimes early on, we don't have the capital to even pay them because they can just go get a job, they can get other gigs. Yep. How was you able to keep, because some of the people I'm looking at, like, been around from the beginning. How was you able to get them to buy in early on before you became the LaRussell that the world is seeing?
I've always been this LaRussell, even before the world got to see it.
I love that.
The world is new to it, but this has been me from the jump. And I've always done everything I can for the people who helped me. Even if I couldn't pay them directly, I was giving them royalties. I'll handle all the transportation. I'll make sure everybody eat. I'll do all the little things. And even beyond that, like when I knew I wanted T to come help me build, it was like, man, move to Vallejo. I'm going to cover the rent and everything. I just need you out here and we'll figure out all the rest. Splash the same. Hey, I need you every day. I'll take care of whatever I got to take care of. I just need you here. You feel me? Sometimes you can't do the most, but the least you could do is the minimum that you can do. And people see that and they understand it. People start to believe in that when you show up. It's different when you asking people to do everything for you and you giving them nothing in return and just hopes of something's going to happen.
Bro, that's big, bro. It's funny because even if they don't give it back, it's crazy, bro. I used to like make fun of like energy in the world and stuff like that. And as I got older, I understood that it was real. And I was just talking to one of my cameramen about, like, when you do good things, even if people don't pay it back, the world gonna pay it back. Mm-hmm. Like, the world is gonna give you the energy that you give it. And it sounded like you definitely was putting in that work, and the world was giving it back to you in a good way. Do you feel that way?
Of course. I got to a point in my life where I realized that the universe works in the same way as your job. When you go to work, you start a job, and you got to work 2 weeks before you get a check. That means you got to do 80 hours of work and spend all this time before you get anything for it. Some people, you work in a school, you get paid once a month. You got to go 160 hours before you get any return. And that's how this music is. But, Wendy, no, it could be a year, 2, 3 years. But, I bet on the fact that I know that I showed up to my job and I clocked in and I worked. So one day my check going to come and it's going to have all them hours on it.
That's real, bro. That's real. I do. And y'all can clap if y'all want to. It's fine. Yo, speaking of the job, right? You was somebody that was putting in that work way before you was this independent guru that we see, right? Like, and I say guru because like you really came in and you changed some shit around. Excuse my language, like, but I mean that because just like at your job where you went in and like I guess you taught them to do some new shit and like that kind of revolutionized the way they looked at the work. It was the same way how you did the music industry. But before that, you kept your feet on the ground and you kept working until you didn't have to work no more. And I wanted to talk about that because a lot of times, as independent, as entrepreneurs, because I want to have a conversation about entrepreneurship and independent. I think it's one and the same. I think it is the same. How did you know when it was time to leave and when it was time to stay? And then my second part question to that was when it got hard, how did you know this ain't really time to go back, even though I want to go back? So the first question is, how did you know when it was really like, I can leave? Because sometimes we leave prematurely. We think we got something going on. It's just for the moment.
Yeah, I left prematurely.
Really?
I left off emotion. I didn't leave off planned. And like if I could have planned better, I would have. Okay. It would have saved me a lot of time and effort. I left emotionally, but it was still my time. My body couldn't take it no more. My spirit was like, this ain't where you need to be. Like I was miserable. I was experiencing all the feelings of like, man, I'm doing the wrong thing with my life. And I think that's just as important to listen to as, hey, I saved up 6 months and now I'm ready. Sometimes that time don't come. So for me, it was really an emotional response to what I was feeling.
So how did you know when, okay, because again, in this entrepreneur, it's ebbs and flows, it goes up and down. And sometimes a nigga want a job because this shit ain't hitting right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
in those moments, because you actually applied.
I did.
And you got offered the job. And
Yep.
you're like, nah, that ain't really what I want to do. Was that an emotional thing too? Because you can apply in one space because you down.
Yep.
And this entrepreneurship and independent thing, it can go up to him tomorrow. So was it like, okay, I got the job 2 weeks from now, but now I'm up, I don't need it, or it was relatively the same in the feeling?
Nah, getting a job offer reignited my confidence in myself, because when I got the offer, it was like, damn, a job gonna always be here and I'm gonna always be able to get one. Like I've never been to a job interview and not got the job. So my thinking was like, well, if this don't work, the least I could do is go back to work. I know I'm gonna get a job. I work hard.
Is that the same mentality that you took to the music industry? Because we all know that you turned down a lot of deals, and we'll talk about Jay-Z in a second, but that wasn't the only deal. You turned down a lot of deals because you understood the importance of value in yourself. And it's like, okay, if you're going to give me $200,000, I got to pay that back. I might as well just work to get that myself. Is that the same mentality that come from the same space, or like when did you learn that when it came to independent and music?
You know, early on in my journey, I was just a bit more egoic. I felt like I was more deserving of what I was getting. You know, it wasn't even of the fact of like, man, I got to recoup this, I got to do it. It was just like, this don't make sense for me. You know, like I felt like I was a lot bigger than I was, and I didn't understand metrics at the level that the label was like, well, you don't have streams. Because to me, I'm like, I don't give a damn that I don't have streams. Like, people know me in real life, you know? So we was just gauging off what we felt we were worth, which metrically didn't match what they was bringing back. But to me, that's what I felt, and I was just going off of that.
We have any independent artists in here? Any independent? So when you say you was going off the metrics, what metrics were you looking at to say, I'm worth this or I deserve this?
None. Myself. The labels was looking at the metrics to say you're not worth what you think you're worth. I was going off who I knew I would become.
Yo, I know it's a live show. We supposed to have like some sort of like professionalism, but I'm a nigga, right? So I'm gonna talk to you like that.
I as well.
All right. So you know what that remind me of, bro? Like I tell people all the time, I'm like, man, no matter how you feel about like video vixens or whatever, girls that go after basketball players, when I see that, you know what I see? I see somebody that like they know what they want and they get it at any cost. And that shows me that, bro, if you just rewire that thinking, you can literally get it. So even like you said, that was out of ego. Yep. But it shows me that you knew what you wanted and you was going to get it at any cost, and look at you now. So back then, people probably be looking at you like, man, you was crazy. You ain't got no hits. I listen to your song, and none of them sound like hits. I don't want to play none of them on the radio. And you like, okay, you're crazy. Right. And it shows me that, like, if you really believe in what you want to do, then you can get whatever it is, no matter how crazy it sounds.
Man, and every invention look crazy. Imagine driving back in the fucking 20s, and you see two brothers working on a fucking airplane in a field, and you like, and they like, we gonna fly. And you like, yeah, nigga, when pigs fly out my ass. You feel me? Like, that's the comparison. But now today, every single day, there's flights going in and out of airport in every single city. And this was just somebody's thought of like, I'm a fly because I believe I can.
You're making this hard for me. I told you I had a list full of questions I wanted to ask you. Bro, you know, it's crazy because I'm thinking about it, and it makes like the skin on my arm stand up, right? And I say that because being revolutionary, people don't understand it hurt. It's hard. Because to be revolutionary, you got to introduce the world to something they ain't never seen before. Mm-hmm. And when they ain't never seen it before, it come with a lot of criticism.
You got to take all the arrows. You got to take all the arrows.
How was that when you know it worked? Your team believe in you now, right? They know it worked. But I'm trying to, like, I'm an artist. I'm sensitive about my shit. I need the world to see. The world they ain't getting it. Take me back to those moments, like when you was really just, again, you was putting in the work to be revolutionary, but they ain't really understand. They wasn't really grasping it yet.
Man, my pops used to always just tell me, like, they gonna have to catch up. Don't stop running. They're going to have to catch up. You know, and that's something that kind of stick. Like, everybody not going to get what you putting down immediately. You ever listen to a song and it's a crazy-ass bar in it, and you've been knowing it your whole life since a kid, but until you turn into a teen or adult, you like, oh, my God, that's what he meant. You know, that's what it is, and sometimes you got to wait. You got to wait for that moment to just pass, you know. It's like a ship going under a bridge, you feel me? Like, the when the front go past, the back still got another 5 minutes to go through. And that's all this shit is. You know, it's a waiting game, and everybody won't see it until they see it. And your job is to just keep putting things out into the world to make people believe in the vision.
That's real. And to like any entrepreneur or independent artist, I wanted to be intentional with these questions, man, because I want somebody to take something and learn from this, right? I feel like ego can go two ways, right? Because you can stay too long, and then you can stay not long enough. How did you know it was working to say, no, I'm going to keep going, instead of saying, you know, I got a kid. You had your first kid at 17. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, this ain't working. I need to go provide for my family. How did you know, what was the signs that were showing you, all right, it's working. I need to keep going. Even if it ain't working to what I wanted to work to, it's working.
Man, the universe will keep giving you signs. And that's what my whole journey I've gotten. Like, after I quit my job, I had like a tax refund check, like $6K or something, right? And, you know, I started moving through that. And by the time that started getting low, I got a call from the HR lady at my old job. And she was like, hey, you got some 401k money. You're going to probably need it. That was God. Like, here, keep going. You know, and then that happened. And I just had moments throughout my journey where every time I'm low, something happens where it's like, here's enough to get to the next stop. You feel me? If I wasn't supposed to be here, it wouldn't happen. It wouldn't occur for me. Something kept giving me the energy and the fuel to go further.
That's real. So I'm going to give y'all a sneak peek into, like, my flaws, right? We're recording. I don't cut anything out, and we live. I wanted to ask you this before we came on, because I didn't fact check it yet. Was it true that you was doing, like, production or helping, like, artists before you even pop, right? I thought I'm right.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought that was so interesting, because that takes a special individual to be like, I'm gonna put my talent on the back burner, and I'm gonna produce for these artists, knowing that I got this burning desire in me that can do this and probably better. What made you get into that lane?
That's how I started. I started off producing, doing photo shoots, doing videos, I've done every role you got a nigga in this room doing, I've done and still do. Mixing, mastering, live audio, setting up equipment, everything. There's no one on my team that does something that I didn't do. I refuse to ask people to do things, you feel me, that I wouldn't put myself in. So for me, that was the inception, and it's dope because some of my artist homies met me behind the camera. They were coming to do a live session on my platform and didn't even know. You know, I was just working to make sure that their vision came to life. So my ego's never been too big to fit into the room that I need to be in.
Yo.
Yeah.
Yo, looking back on those things, right? Because I say this, and I'm just curious. Now I'm just picking your brain. I be saying sometimes I feel like my experience is my biggest downfall. Because when you know better, you do better, right? But sometimes you not knowing better is what puts you in the position that you in.
Yep.
How do you feel about that? Do you feel like sometimes you knowing better? Because now you know better. Like, not saying you wouldn't go behind the camera, but, you know, like some things. Do you feel like some things you wouldn't do now, or you still willing to do whatever?
I agree. I think sometimes ignorance could be your downfall or your uprising.
Yeah.
When I was young and going into all them label meetings, I was so ignorant that I willed my way into success.
Yeah.
They used to be like, but you can't do it without this kind of distribution. And I'm like, nigga, watch me.
Yeah.
You feel me? Because I didn't know that it was a system at play. And since I didn't know, I just did whatever I wanted. When I started giving people shares in my royalties and people like, oh, well, you supposed to do it. It didn't matter to me because it's like, I'm going to do it because it's mine. I own the music. You can't tell me I can't do it. Yeah. I didn't pay attention to all the things that they were looking at to tell them that they couldn't do the things that I believed I could do.
Yo, so, because we see you as this, like, again, this independent guy, right? That's what we see you as, right? Let me just be real. But you were working with people like I think of Hovain, Johnny Shipes. That's an independent record label out of New York, right? You all the way in Vallejo. Like, how did you even connect with them, and what made you even go that route? Because that was like a record label still.
I never did a deal with them, no.
Oh, okay.
Never.
What was the situation with that?
Shipes was the first label to fly me out anywhere to like court me. And the craziest thing, the night Shipes called me to come to New York, I was on my mama couch sleeping, like crying, like I was having a moment, like a real moment. Like I had to wipe my tears answering his call, like, hello. You feel me? Like it was one of those moments. And that was how I said the universe would send me a light just in the moments of despair. And he was like, man, we really want to sign you. We love what you're doing. Can you fly out? So I flew out and I met with him and we talking. He like, man, this is how I think the deal should look, yada, yada. And I was just like, nah, that ain't how it's going to go. And then he was like, well, fuck all that. How about we just manage you and we help you and you just give us this %. And then I was like, nah, that ain't how that's going to go. And after that, it was just like, well, we just love you, so we'll help wherever we can and whatever. It don't even matter. And it just turned into that situation where they just like, we want to see you win, and we don't truly get what you're doing, but we know it's revolutionary and it's special, so I'm going to just stay out the way and assist where I could.
What was it know about? And for those that don't know, like Johnny Shipes and Hovain, like, these are like, y'all might not be familiar with their names, some of y'all, but I mean, these are some of the biggest independent record labels like in the country, not even just New York. Johnny Shipes is one of the ones that's responsible for introducing Nipsey to the world, right? So and G Herbo, like so,
Big
like
Jenkins,
it's a lot. Like, it's a lot.
Goes on.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, and that's why I was asking, like, why to know? Because you see what he did to Nipsey. I'm thinking, oh, I want to be like Nip. Why not? Right? What was the no for?
I never wanted to be like Nip. I wanted to be like LaRussell. You know,
sure.
I was inspired by everyone, but I felt like what was for me was for me, and I needed something unique. The thing is with all of them, in a convo we were just having with Hov, like all of them were independent labels, but all they knew was the system. So everything was still like that. It was like, yeah, you indie, but you just like them niggas, so it don't make sense. Every situation I've been in till this day, every deal I've had has been non-exclusive because I've always fought to be like, I'll do this with you, but I need my freedom to do what I need to do. If the only way you can sign me is if you take my freedom away from me, then I'm not gonna let you sign me because it don't make no sense.
Where did you learn that though? I feel like because so many artists are willing to do whatever they got to do to make it big that they will sign their freedom away. Like, where did you learn that specifically?
Being in it. Like at the end of 2021, I caught like just a spurt. From August to December, I dropped 6 albums. And I was in that mode where I was having so much fun creating that I didn't want nobody to stop that flow. And every time I meet with a label, they're like, well, we need this much time to roll out and you should slow down on this. Everything they would tell me was like, what you doing basically ain't the right thing, and we're going to show you the right way. But I believed what I was doing was the right way for me, and none of them could make that decision for me. So it was like, we either do the deal this way or we don't do the deal. And that's how I got through all of my situations, because I just refused to sign. And I told everybody, if you really love me, you would help me no matter what. If you only willing to help, if I'm in the street holding my knee and the only way you going to help me up is if I sign your contract, then you didn't really want to help me. You wanted to benefit from me, but you didn't actually want to help me.
That's good. It's crazy because that's how
I'm hitting them.
that's how like your relationship with Charlamagne was, right? Like he was somebody that just came in, just wanted to support. Like, yeah.
And Hovain hooked that up.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
How is the relationship with Charlamagne now? Is it still good?
Man, we were just on the call. We were just on the call, and Charlamagne, like, man, the reason I was able to go rap on Breakfast, no one goes on Breakfast Club to rap.
Freestyle,
I didn't even do an interview. He was like, just come rap.
Yeah.
That's all I did, and it changed my life.
What was the biggest difference after that freestyle you seen? And that was Do Your Little Dance, right?
Yep. I feel like that was my moment that the world started to take notice. You know, I had a viral moment prior to that with 2021 Freestyle, and it was like, okay, this is viral. That's how Johnny Shipes found me. But after Breakfast Club, it was just like, it started becoming like, y'all don't know who this is? Yeah. You haven't heard? You know, it just became a bigger splash.
Okay. Yo, so you said in 2021, that's when you had the spurt from August to December, you said?
Mm-hmm.
And like I said before, I'm listening to all of the music before, like 2018. And it sound like, I don't want to say dark, but it sound like pain.
Mm-hmm.
And then I even said, I'm like, I feel like I heard a switch.
Yeah.
What was the switch? Or could you even think, again, back in 2018, was this all you knew when you was making this music? Or was this just like, because I know I asked, but like, was this just you trying to show the world you can rap? Because you also, again, you from Vallejo, but some of your people you looked up to, Lil Wayne, right? Like, you're in California with so many people, you was really being a lyricist. What was the inspiration behind that during them times, specifically, though?
Just where I was in life, you know, it was like,
Where were
we
you?
was
Take us back.
receiving so much. And I remember the Nia Wilson case and Eric Gardner and Stephon Clark and Mike Brown and Trey. It was just like, that was the work. You know, Trayvon sparked a different thing in the world because shit like that been happening our whole lives, but that was the most wide scale it was. And you know, as a little black kid who looked like that nigga who roam around the neighborhood, it hit you different. You know, so I was just in a different world and space and just that's where I was. You know, I make music based off how I feel and what's on my mind and what's on my heart. So, you know, when I'm in that state, that's all I could really produce.
No, like I said, I was listening to it, and something that caught my attention was, I think you said, I'm going to the notes, y'all, on Let Me Fly. You was like, I've been finding my way till the day I meet Kanye or to the day I meet Andre 3K, right? And I thought it was so interesting because, like, you might not have met Kanye, but you met the next biggest thing, bigger than Ye, arguably somebody would say, and that was Jay-Z. You meet Jay-Z. He offered you the deal. And you like, no. First of all, what make you think you could say no to Jay-Z?
Nah, Jay-Z didn't offer me the first deal.
And
I mean, he I just found out that it was him the whole time, like telling the team, like, hey, go holla. But he didn't know in depthly of what happened because it didn't get back up to him. You know, when you got a job, a nigga, what happened on the floor only gonna come so far up the tunnel because the nigga don't want to be accountable. You feel me? So I didn't look at it like I was saying no to Hove. I was saying no to the niggas who gave me the deal. Hove just happened. See, the difference, the tough thing in position that Hove is in is like, if you get a deal from Universal, it's faceless. No one think, when you hear Universal, who do y'all think about?
Nobody.
You feel me? Like they've been able to operate faceless. When you hear Roc Nation, you think Hove. You don't think the company. You feel me? But for me, it was just, I wasn't treated properly for that to make sense for me, you know? And then when it came back around, it felt like a nigga was trying to bamboozle me. And that was my whole thing with that statement was like, if this ain't what's happening, then Hove gonna hit me and let me know that's not what's happening. You feel me?
So did he ever hit you? But you said it never got back to him. You not knowing that, you probably know it now. It's always easy to look back and reflect on things, right? But you not knowing that, did that make you look at him differently? Did it hurt your feelings? How was you feeling when he didn't get back to you?
Initially, yeah, I took it real personal, you know, because I felt like I was Hove. You know, I felt like he understood the entire struggle that I was going through and what I was building. If anybody would understand it, it's like, this nigga get it. So definitely we took that personal, which is why it led to, and I was telling him, like, a lot of those moments was my ego. Like, you know, where I'm at now in my level of maturity, I wouldn't speak the same because I don't feel the same. I understand it's not personal attacks, but then that is how I felt. You feel me? It was like, damn, out of everybody. But it's also like, man, in business, your job is to empower the next generation and people and everything. Like I say, you might not have sight or oversight until something comes up that's like, man, I should probably look into that.
So you're saying you probably wouldn't say it now looking back on it. But I feel like
I'll probably still say that shit now, but differently.
I'm thinking like that's kind of what got you here, though, right? Like, because if like you change one thing, then something else it could change our whole life, right? And it's like I always say, I take everything personal. Like I don't give a damn, but I think it's the way you react to it, right? So like I don't take it personal and lash out. I take it personal and prove you wrong, right? And I feel like we all should take things personal, but people don't think that. Do you still feel like you still had that chip on your shoulder, or is not there no more. You never had it.
Shit don't be personal. You know, that's something I've learned throughout this journey. All of us got completely different upbringings and morals and ethics that go into the decisions we make. And you doing something to me reflects you, not me.
Facts.
So, you know, it takes a certain level of growth for you to get to your point of understanding that what might be okay in your household ain't okay in mine. So I can't personalize that because it's like, oh, your mama let you do that shit growing up. My mama didn't play that shit.
Yeah,
you
fact.
feel me? Like, we have different backgrounds for me to say it was a personal attack on me. That's just how you are.
Nah, that's real. I ain't gonna lie. I still take it personal. I don't give a damn. Like, I look at it like, but not in a bad way. Like I said, man. Because listen, if I want an opportunity, right, and if you don't give me the opportunity because I don't have enough followers, or I don't know, you don't think I'm that funny, or whatever the case may be, I take it personal. So I'm like, okay, well, I need to get enough. Like, it's like the old saying. I'm pretty sure y'all heard it in small cities specifically, right? Man, my city don't support talent. They support what's popular. So what I say is get popular then. Nigga, get popping.
Yep.
So, but I take it personal because I ain't popping. So once I get popping, it ain't like I'm going to say no. But I'm going to just, I got to personalize it. That's how I move. I'm just saying.
Yeah. And we do that to an extent. You know, like there's certain companies and things I've experienced where I got to the point where, like, you know, me and T had that convo and it's like, we're going to shit on you. Like, when that time comes, you're going to be mad that it didn't, you know, but I don't personalize it in a way where it affects my journey.
Yeah, you know what's, speaking of like people not supporting talent, was popular. I think you had it was an interview with, I don't know if it was some different origin. He asked you about the numbers and you was like, the numbers really don't reflect in real life. And I'm like, damn, I wish I could have thought of that. Because like he was talking about like streaming and stuff like that. Like, man, I got 2 million followers, but I feel like I know 200 million people know me.
Yeah.
Right? Like, where was you able to understand? Because that's impact. Where was you able to understand that it's bigger than that? Because so many of us creators, independent artists, shit, even artists signed to major, they looking at the numbers and like, man, I know my shit better than this. Like, it's only 50,000 people listen or 25 people listen to me, and they get stuck in that. And they create, that becomes their identity.
Yeah.
When was you able to get over that hump? Because I'm pretty sure you had to start. You was looking at the numbers at one point in time.
It's reflective on all ends as an artist. Like, I look at it like you could have 1,000 contacts in your phone, but you still don't have 1,000 people to call on. You know? Like that's the reality of life and how it works. And I was just explaining to the team in the truck, like, as I've grown and learned how to mine data, big companies use 1 to 5%. They know that they'll yield 1 to 5. And this is something that worked for touring for y'all indies in here. When I first did a show in LA, I was looking at my monthly listeners. I'm like, damn, I got this many in LA. I'm finna sell this many tickets. No, you're not. 1 to 5%. Whatever the number is, that's your yield. 1% is your minimum yield. It's like if you have this number, at least 1% is going to show up for you. If you could activate 5, that means you have a really active base. And that's something I'm still learning time and time again. Like, I got 2 million followers. I've sold 20,000 albums. With 2 million followers, you would think I could sell 2 million albums. But everybody watching you ain't there to help you. Some people will watch you push your car and film you. They not going to get out and help you push it. You feel me? But my 1% of 2 million is what? 20,000. I've hit my minimum. Now I can try to get to 5, but you always got to take that number and go 1%. And then I just learned when I was outside, it could be we could go do an event. It'll be a bigger artist there, but everybody stopping me. I walk in, everybody want to pay, everybody coming up to me. And this artist sold way more records, got plaques, got streams, but they don't know them. You feel me? Like the numbers just don't reflect the actual reality. It's just a metric.
Yo, I want to actually go into the numbers behind it, and especially the business of it. I feel like so many of us get into whatever we get into for the love. We don't understand as a business. I think you had a conversation with Tank and Jay Valentino a while ago, and y'all was talking about how the business kind of messed up the creativity of the game because artists get into the game and they want to, like, you know, just get some money from it. But then it's reflecting in your music. We could tell you don't love it. But sometimes we love it too much and now we don't have our business straight. Tell us about the importance of having that balance of having your business straight, getting to this money, and being able to take care of your bills and your team, but also still having the love for it?
I was talking to the homie from Cadillac Chronicles 'cause the other day. He was like, speak about the importance of monetizing before you go out, so you got your stuff straight. And I told him, like, it's opposite. You gotta put something out and you gotta have something to monetize. And sometimes you learn that on the way. I got about probably 6 or 7 albums into my catalog one time. I think I had like 100-some songs, and I just learned publishing and how it actually works. And okay, this is supposed to be administered. This how the splits go. I had to go redo my entire catalog and get it right. But if I would have never put out them 100 songs, I wouldn't have learned nothing because I wouldn't have had the experience to find it out. So you can't monetize first. The goal is to get something out there so you can get reactions and you can learn. Like when I started, I was doing Proud to Pay. And then I started noticing, at the door, people don't want to pull out a bunch of money. It's too much stuff going on. So I created offer base. And it's like, okay, now I can determine, do I want to take $1 for this? Do I not want to take $1 for this? But you don't get none of that experience until you do it and you get it out there. Then you could build infrastructure around it.
That's bar. Y'all want to clap for that. I ain't gonna So like, this is about you. It just made me think. I've been doing podcasts for a while. And like now I'm just starting to teach people how to do podcasts. And people, they come to me like what I should do. And I'm like, the first thing you want to do is start. And I'm not saying that because it's cliche, but however, right, it's cliche for a reason because it's true. But the other piece of that, I'm not saying start not to give you information, but you only have the right questions after you start. Yeah. Because then when you start, you can say, what's ISO? Right. When you start, you can say, what's white balance? You know what I'm saying? Before you start, you don't know the questions to ask. So now you're wasting my goddamn time. Yep. So if you start, you will know, how did you book the interview with LaRussell? You come to me asking me how I got my guests and all this. And like, bro, you don't even know how to get your camera started. Right? So like, that's a fact, bro. Going to the offer base. You were saying people wasn't doing it at the door. Did you start physical or did you start online how it is now? Because
I started at the door.
Okay.
Proud to Pay show, pull up, pay whatever you want at the door.
Okay.
And, I got a line of 100, 200 people who like, it's niggas behind them. Some people want to get more, but it's like, bro, we in Oakland. I ain't pulling out my why,
Yeah.
And it just made me like, people want to make those decisions. I put myself in the position of people with every piece of technology I built. How do I prefer to do this? And that's how I build it. And it's like, I prefer, if I'm in the comfort of my home, I'm going to give you, I might got a rack that I want to give you. I'm not giving you that outside in a line full of people, to the doorman. You feel me? Like there's different things. And so I built around, okay, what feels like it's the most feasible. And that's when I went to the technology side to just allow people to make that decision, even down to the point, like our website used to be Proud to Pay, right? And in the box, it'll have like a default price, 50, 100, whatever, or 10, 20. And I noticed people would just default sometimes. So I told, the engineer, I said, take the number out the box and put what's it worth to you. Just that one change from me thinking like, okay, how would this affect me? Changed everything. Now people see that box and they got to think, like I took the ease out for them where they got to actually think to themselves, what has LaRussell done for me? What is this for me? What do I feel? And that changed how the offers look.
What made you even go the Proud to Pay way? Because even like I tried to do that one time and I was on like 20 calls and probably one person donated. I'm like, what the hell? So what made you go the Proud to Pay work? Because a lot of people just be cheap.
Nip. I was riding my bike one day and I was like, man, how can I do $100 album but without, that ceiling? Because I didn't think people would pay $100 for like something they didn't get. I didn't have a full community yet. So I was like, I'm going to just let people pay whatever they want and I'm going to accept that because right now I got $0. So if a nigga come give me $1, I'm in the green. You feel me? And that's how it started. And then once I got to a point where it's like, okay, that's not yielding anymore. Now I got to figure out how can I make this profitable. I made it offer based so I could still accept your $1, but I have a choice on whether I want that or not if it's enough. You feel me?
So you was already like doing big things at this moment or like give us
It was growing. It was growing. It wasn't big yet, but it was scaling to the point where I understood where it could be. Like when I was doing solely Proud to Pay, I'd do a show with 200, 300 people, and I'd make absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
You feel me? So I had to start setting boundaries for myself to where it's like, if I'm not able to do another show, then none of us win.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. Damn, that's dope. Okay, so I want to make a shift real quick. Another thing that I find dope about you is your pops, right? You have a 1-year-old and a 13-year-old, and you on the road all the time working, but you still have this great relationship with your kids. Like, how are you able to do this? Give us the keys to success to your home.
I don't treat my daughter like a child. Like, we communicate like human. The way we talk, I talk to my daughter this way, and I ask her questions, and I let her ask questions, and I share the journey and get her input on it. You know, I was just telling her, because we got an offer to do like a tour later, and I was like, man, I'm going to be gone for a month and a half if I got to do this. How this make you feel? And that's input that I value. I keep her in the loop. She's seen me go from working a job and air mattress and to like, oh, we made it. We can go to Disney and do this and go here. And, you know, she's seen the process, and I've shared along it, and I allow her to ask questions on what the journey is like.
It's funny, I was just having a conversation with my team, Jamila to be exact, and we were talking about like transparency and how like you don't have to be transparent. Like, I think it's pretty cool.
Do though.
I was gonna ask you, how transparent are you when it comes to like your family?
As transparent as I am with the world, you know, but even more in depth, because it's like, that's my mama, you know, so she could ask something and she gonna get a direct answer on it. But
or to us with like presenting your family to your people and your fans.
I don't force no one into the light. You know, like, people know my mama because my mama gonna pop in the video and do this, and some people barely see my pops because he don't do that. Like, he got to be, like, most people don't see him, you know. It's like, unless you want. And same with my children. Like, I don't force no one into that light. If they want to exist in that space, they can, but I don't put that on them because none of them signed up to be famous.
Yeah, no, I was asking. Oh, y'all can go ahead and clap. I don't know if y'all was about to clap for that, but it's crazy. I was thinking that because you know, a lot of people think we have to show different sides of us to sell this, and I thought that made me think of like how you selling selling your music. Somebody can know you just by what you do online and probably never heard none of your music. Yep. And I was wondering, like, did you do that intentionally? Was you intentional about this? Was it like, cause sometimes like ego, we talked about before, right? Ego, my music is good. I need everybody to hear my music. They don't understand that, bro. If I sell you me, if you listen to the music or not, I got a fan. Was that intentional?
Man, I told my team very early, I was like, I'm a tree. Music is a branch on my tree. It's not the tree. The tree got 100 branches. So if they get here through this, that's why we start doing interview. Like, I mix my content up. You'll see an interview. You'll see a stroll. You'll see a live performance. You'll see a show. You'll see a visualizer, because I don't know what's going to hit you. Some people are fans of me because they like when I walk in the morning and I just share my life and my gems. And that's what get them. And eventually they get to the music, or maybe they don't. You know, like, I don't really care how they get to the tree as long as they get to it.
That's why I asked about the transparency, because like, even I have a close friend of mine, and he's not as like transparent with everything. I'm like, bro, you know so much. Like, man, I want people to know me for the music. And I'm like, I understand that, but fuck that. Like, it's like, if they get to you, then you can show them the music. You get what I'm saying? And I was wondering, like, your thoughts on that, because so many of us have so many skills, but we hear sayings like, don't be a jack of all trades, but a master of none, right? So it's like, man, I want people to know me as this, like me. Before I even started showing people I was good at production, I'm like, I just want y'all to know me for a podcast. And then I'm like, man, fuck this. I know all of this. I'm going to tell you all of this. Sometimes we get caught up in that. Was that something that you had to learn along the way, or you just been knew that from the jump?
You could be a jack of all trades and a master of none, or you could be a jack of all trades and a master of many. And I think I'm a master of many.
That's fine.
Because I was a jack of all trades.
That's fine. Yo, I know we said we have any entrepreneurs in the building? We got entrepreneurs, indie artists in the building. We got independent artists in the building. So what I'm gonna do, I brought somebody here because I'm like, I wanted to be intentional with this conversation. I'm gonna open up the floor for a Q&A, but I wanted to do something special for the room because I know that we all trying to get it, and you know it's hard. I brought somebody here who specializes in funding. I'm gonna bring him up after the Q&A, and I'm gonna let him talk to you guys because I know that's something that can help our community. A lot of times, this information is out there, we just don't know, right? So I'm gonna bring him up. I'm gonna open the floor
for Q&A, and then I'm gonna bring my man A-Mob out here. A-Mob, you can raise your hand. Y'all can look in the back. Shout out to my guy. He's my funding specialist. So I'm gonna just have him give y'all a couple words. But Jamila, we can open the floor for Q&A.
Okay. Questions?
Oh my! If you got a question, you can raise your hand. We'll bring the mic to you.
Okay. And give us your name and what you do and all the things.
What's going on? My name is Princess Dior.
What up, princess?
Chill.
What side?
You crazy. I got a car rental business. I do business funding. So my question is this. I work with a lot of independent artists that are trying to get deals, but they're having a hard time with streams and doing shows. So my strategy is to do ads. Did you ever run ads to get like streaming and to also find your target market for different cities to sell your tickets?
I don't do ads to get streams, but I do run ads to just increase awareness overall. You know, I think advertising is the greatest thing you could do when you got a great product. The worst thing you could do is have a great product and don't tell nobody about it. When you got a great product, advertise as much as you can. So I use ads in different formats. One is to just increase awareness. Like if I post something and it goes viral, I'm running ads behind it because the algorithm already told me it works. So if more people see it, they're going to enjoy it because this group of people seen it. And then the second thing I run ads for is for product sales. If I make a piece of merch that I want to sell and I want people to know I'm selling it, I'm going to run ads. So because when you post, your post, if it's a great post, it'll probably last 3 or 4 days, you know, through algorithmic retention. If it ain't that great, it'll last 1 day. Ads allow people to see it every day, so it don't just stop at 1 day. And then the third thing I use ads for is show promotion. If I'm doing a show in Atlanta, I'm going to target Atlanta, and I'm going to target, you know, specific users, or I'll run broad, and the algorithm will find who's into what you into, but just to let them know, hey, the show is happening, because I live in Cali, so naturally when I post, it's spreading it to, it's a localized, you know, region, so I have to make sure the people in Atlanta see it.
Why do you do the same thing with your streams? Just curious. Why not do the same thing?
Because I don't really care to direct people any specific place. I like people to go where they comfortable. So if you find me, like when I find artists I like, I go to YouTube. I don't go stream. I go to see like they're creative. I want to see what they look like. I want to see the image. So I don't direct people any specific way because if they love you, they're going to get there anyway. You feel me? They'll find their way to all the other things. And it costs more money to direct somebody somewhere versus just for them to see it. If I run an awareness ad, it's a couple cents. If I have to direct you somewhere, it's going to be, you know, 2x, 3x that.
Is this the same thing for YouTube? Like you don't do ads on your videos either? It's the same thing, I'm assuming.
Yeah, same concept. If a video goes and does really well, then the same thing happens. We'll run discovery ads and just make sure more people get the chance to see it.
A music video.
On any piece of content that goes.
Okay, all right. Go ahead.
Hey, I'm Janae. Janae Music. I am a music artist, singer, songwriter, actress, podcaster. Shout out to 1% Better Show.
Gang, gang.
Period. So my question is, as a music artist, right? We know that as of right now, social media is king. That's how we're, you know, marketing, presenting things. What is the difference, or how do you feel about presenting content outside of just music? Because I think that for me, I realized that like when you promote your music or put your music out there and people don't really know it yet, it doesn't seem like it gets much traction. But then when you put out other content, maybe something funny or a word of advice, stuff like that, that typically picks up more. So how does that kind of feed into the music, or how do you feel about combining the content, or what's your advice towards that?
I think your content should provide value. I'm not into always posting just music because it feels like promotions. It's like I don't always want to see your music video. You're a whole human. There's no way all you do is make music all the time. You know, that's why I do the strolls and I let people in on our convos and our vlogs and just being a person. Sometimes I'm just tweeting my thoughts and what I'm feeling. I think it should always be beyond that, as much as you willing to show, you know, but I think you should show the full spectrum of you existing, not just one thing that you do.
We have a question right here.
Uh-oh, she lost.
What's going on? I'm Quez. I appreciate you being here first and foremost. I have a running brand. And also, I'm a running content creator. It's called Michi Running, and I'm pretty popular in the space. Me and Jay actually ran yesterday. I actually led the Gunner Run that was here in Atlanta as well. And the question I want to ask you is, when brands are trying to build, starting out, and they make mistakes earlier in their process in their brand, what would you do? What would you do differently? You know what I mean? To kind of like not make those mistakes early on.
Like what would you consider a mistake?
So a mistake for me is basically, I feel like the hardest thing to do, and that's just for anybody, is to be yourself, honestly. And when you on social media, I know you looking left, you looking right, and you trying to figure out what works. You know what I mean? You trying to figure out what's the viral moment and how can you make it? How can you be successful? And that's one thing that I struggle with, honestly, with my brand, because I see this, I see that. I'm like, damn. All right, let me try it this way. But also too, I understand testing certain things and see what works for you and what makes you comfortable. I found out that like that really works, like testing certain things. So I feel like the mistakes that I made coming in is just pretty much comparison, honestly.
Man, it's crazy. Perspective is key because, like you said, the hardest thing to do is to be yourself. And for me, the easiest thing to do is for me to be myself. The hardest thing for me to do is be something else. You feel me? So depending on what side you on, that affects you differently. How I look at content, I think the most successful content creators are the ones who lead, the ones who create the new thing. I only create things and share things that I like. I don't like test things to say, oh, maybe this will work. Like I go do things that I really enjoy that's entertaining to me. Like me and T had a rule. At one point, we was probably getting like 7 pieces out a day. And I was like, man, we're going to refine it to just things we love. And I edit these things myself. And when she edit, and our rule is like, if I'm editing and this don't make me smile, laugh, feel, and I'm editing it, if it don't do it to me and I made it, then it ain't gonna do it to the world. But if I'm at that desk and I'm laughing and I'm smiling, that's the one. You know, you should be able to use your own senses to determine what works for you.
I actually had another question for you. Actually, I was thinking about Quez.
It's their turn.
Oh, my bad.
Nah, come.
No, I was thinking about Quez. We went on, like you said, went on a run, and you know, he told me some things I don't know if I don't want to share with you guys, but we was talking about being at home and people not supporting you and having to move. I'm somebody that moved away from home, and I got a lot of success from moving away from home. But specifically, I saw you having to come. I don't know what platform it was on, but you was talking about like everybody said you should move, right? But you was like, I wasn't giving enough to my people for them to support me. What's your thoughts on that, specifically about staying home and doing what you're doing and giving them more to support versus moving and being in a fresh space?
You're not successful because you moved. You successful because who you became after you moved. You wasn't the same person at home. You feel me? And that's what it be. Like people associate it with the space, but wherever you are, there you are. The space matters very minutely to what's going on. The moment I start being who I was at home and being a part of my community and being involved and giving and just being in it, I've always had support. People just try to skip that step. Some people think that support is just granted. Since we both from Vallejo, you gotta support me. Nigga, no, I don't. At all. You feel me? It's people who from where I'm from who destroying my community. You're not granted to my support because we share anything in common. You have to earn support. I had to earn. Every person in this room is here because I worked hard and I earned it. And same for yourself. You know, people shouldn't just give you that because y'all share a similarity. And you shouldn't want that. You should want to earn a fan and somebody's support because you don't want it to be a favor. Imagine performing in front of 500 people who like, shit, I'm just here because I want to support the nigga. Like that ain't it. I want people like, man, you changed my life. I want to be here.
I'm with you.
You feel me? Like
Yeah.
that I don't think location or proximity has anything to do with it. It all has to do with you and what you do with it.
Thank you. Yeah, like I said, I was thinking about my man when I had the. We have a question right here, or oh, my bad.
Hi, everyone. My name is Navaja.
Hey, Navaja.
Hey, how y'all doing? Hey. Definitely nice to see you in person. Huge fan. I am a singer songwriter. You guys is next upcoming R&B artist. Period. So I do have a question. I had to write it down, so I gotta read. So my question for you today is: you mentioned that you don't exist within an industry. I can relate to that because I feel like I'm coming in very different, very raw. Um, and therefore you don't have to deal with the politics. Um, how can independent artists truly protect their creative freedom while still growing their good company and expanding their reach?
I think you just have to show up every day. That's something that I did. High and low, I showed up. I showed when I didn't hit my goals. I showed when I hit my goals. I showed when the meeting didn't go well. I showed when it did go well. And I think the best thing you could do is just simply show up. If I gotta walk the same street every day and I see you outside working, eventually we gonna connect. Cause I'm like, man, I see you all the time. Like by my 30th walk, we homies. It ain't no other way. But the neighbor who in the house every day, it ain't gonna be the same connection. Cause just simply because they didn't show up. And I think that's the first step, that you don't even have to like overthink it. Like, man, what should my content be? Should it be this? Just try showing up first and stack those first. Because I'm more inclined to support you if I see you all the time. Regardless, that opens the door for me to be here, for me to even click the link, because I see you so much. The first time I might not, but after 30 times, I'm going to inquire eventually. So I think that's the first step. You had a no question.
No, we was talking about in the back how the no, eventually they're gonna have to see you, right? I feel like your no is your superpower. You know, a lot of times we're scared to say no because we're scared of what we're gonna lose from it. But you earn respect from the no. And I was telling LaRussell, like he was living proof of the no being his superpower and the no being people having to respect him, because again, yeah, he didn't say no directly to Jay-Z, but it still was Roc Nation. And now we see Jay-Z having to, even a lot of y'all don't know. I'm gonna say, you know how to say it. Y'all don't know, but like Jay-Z had to circle back to talk to him directly because it was bigger than Jay-Z, respectfully, right? We talk about him getting the Super Bowl. A lot of us think that's a Jay-Z decision. Man, NFL was way bigger than what we think. That's all I'm saying. So you know, is your superpower, and I was going to talk to you about that. Like, what you think?
Man, you know something that's really dope. When I sat down with Hove, I was telling them like, man, in my mature state, I feel bad for adding to your plate with all you do, you know, because I could have responded differently, but that's how I felt. And he told me, he was like, man, you don't even have to feel bad about that, because you saying something made me look into my own house. I'm not above criticism. We messed up, and I had to go correct that. So this little black kid from Vallejo saying, no, this ain't right, is the reason one of the biggest hip-hop stars ever decide, hey, we need to change some stuff. So sometimes your no that hurts you in that moment and affects you is actually in your most benefit. You know, I'm now benefiting 5 years later from a no I made in 2021. And he benefited from the no as well.
Ooh. Y'all know he doing a Super Bowl, right? Right? Just making sure. Okay, just making sure. Right. I say, like, y'all ain't loud enough in this motherfucker. Like,
Yo, Russ. Good, bro. I'm Travius, independent artist, also a registered nurse. And I saw you talk about the high cost of being an artist. $30K on a single release. Artist and selling the unreleased album. So 3 days in at 100 copies. I know, what's the single most important investment I should make in my first year? Best return of interest, scale my release.
That's a phenomenal question. The music, for sure. But see, it's so tough. It's tough because when you first starting, your ROI out the door. Nigga, you ain't getting that back. You really have to just invest in something that you believe. that you truly believe in, because it ain't coming back when you start. You feel me? Like all the money I spent on ads early, like I'm just now seeing the yield of my investment, because that's how long you're really just trying to expand your reach and awareness and get people accustomed to seeing you. And I will wait until you have something that you really, really, really believe in, and not just because like this is my art and I love it, but something that the world showed you like, hey, we love this too. And put it into advertising. But before you even go to that level, try to get some organically first. Try to make some moments happen organically that's like showing you, hey, I can consistently do this. And then when you get one that just supersedes everything, run them ads and just flood it with them and hit them until you can get your next moment. But don't think of it in terms of ROI, in terms of money, because that's not how it's going to come back. But it comes back in opportunity and attention.
That's a bar. Hey, she had a hand up for a while, but we working our way. I know we working our way to the front, but like my bad.
Back to
Hey y'all, everybody. My name is Mikla. I'm the media homegirl. Okay, and so I had a few questions. Also, I'm from the West Coast. I'm from Compton, to be exact.
You know what I mean?
Okay, so in this industry, it's wicked. You know what I'm saying? And so I have a part question. The first question is, one, how is your mental health? And then two is, what's one win you're grateful for that didn't come with the trophy, just peace? And the last part is, I'm gonna shoot my shot for like some type of content collaboration when you come back. Shoot my shot for that. Those are my two questions, and the last part we can talk about later.
My mental health is really well right now. I'm really grateful. I was just telling someone my default state is like this state. So whenever I'm operating in that, I'm doing well. When I have my moments, just a few weeks ago, I was having a moment, and T and Splash had to correct me in the car and be like, nigga, that's not how you speak to yourself about what we doing, because there's moments where it's like it's not happening like you think it's supposed to happen or at the pace it should, or you just, you put so much in and you don't see the yield or the return from it, and it'll fray you. But other than that, like, I'm really great. Like, I made it from my garage, to the Super Bowl field. So I'm extremely grateful. What was two? Man. Yeah.
Take your time. It's all good.
That's a trophy, though. Mm. I think we had a situation a little while ago. That was a company that wanted to work with us, right? And they were kind of vetting us. We was having meetings and like, man, we want to do this. And I got a call while I was on a walk, and the guy's like, man, we want to work with you, but our CFO, like, they looked on your page and they seen that you had a post, talking about free Palestine and rapping about what was going on, and like he just feels a way. And I remember telling them on the call, like, if me speaking what I feel like is right to me and the truth, denies me an opportunity, then it's not an opportunity I want. And I think those are one of those things where it's like we didn't get the trophy or the bag, but I got to walk away knowing that I stood on my morals and what I believe in.
That was great. That was great.
And then 3 for the collab, you got to earn that. If we. Yeah, you're right. You're right. After this, you can go get one in. Whatever, you better have something ready.
I like that.
Bet.
Peace was good, y'all. I go by Ito Langston, and Alter Ito as well as an artist, to be exact. First off, I want to say I appreciate you, man, like very much so. I have 2 projects out now. One is called Gospel, the other is called Boom Baptism. One of them, Gospel, is pretty much an offer-based project. And I feel like you somebody that inspired me also, like being an engineer as well. But one thing I want to ask is being a master of many and as well as an indie artist, I want to know what was a really pivotal moment for you and feeling like secure in your foundation. Because I feel like it's one thing to be an artist, like you make music, you got reps. And I know, shout out to Yetta too, because I'm a part of the ABC community and I just love all the info that she putting the gems on how y'all
She be going
really do.
crazy. She be going
You know,
crazy.
shout out to Yetta for real, man.
Yeah, for
'cause
sure.
I love seeing the organization and the collaboration. You feel me? But I want to know for you, like having that moment, you know, you was working as an engineer. You said, I'm going all in on music. What made you feel secure in your foundation as an artist?
My confidence came from my competence. I did enough to believe in myself truly and not blindly. You know, I did enough shows. I rehearsed enough times. I put out enough songs. You know, before I left my job, I had albums, songs, videos, like show. I put in all the time and the effort for me to believe in myself without a doubt. You know, like it wasn't just me jumping off a ledge and hoping. I really already was stacking up achievements for me to be like, I'm capable. And I think that's a step that people kind of try to jump over. They want the stardom, but they don't do all the work it takes. Like I've rehearsed more times than I've ever performed. I've threw away more raps than I've ever released, you know, and that confidence comes from the practice. You know, when I'm performing for a show, I don't have nerves or anything. Like, this is what I do because this is literally what I do all the time, and you can only grow that from that. You don't want to have a blind confidence because it's going to always be shaky. Your foundation going to always be crumbly when that pressure comes because you really don't know if you can or you can't. I don't have that sense of I can't. I only can.
We're gonna do like two more, if that's okay.
Yeah, I'm Jada Trades. I started a hashtag Jada Be Everywhere, and I build brands and community and bring that back into my music. And so I just wanted to ask, obviously you're connected to the community as well. And so take us through like an experience of the changes you had to make in order to grow into the celebrity, because obviously I'm sure you probably have to have security or whatever it is. Like, take us through that and then still being connected to your community at the same time.
I just recently got security last year, and not even for security. You know, we had a big conversation with my dog Hen when he was coming in. He's like, "Man, you need security, you did," and I'm like, "No, nigga, like I prefer not." You know, like it make me uncomfortable. But he showed me a side of like logistics and the human. And I told him when I was doing it, I said, you know, I'm after having good humans around me. Like, I want people around me that believe in my vision and what I'm doing. And he showed me a scale of what this is far beyond the security. Most of the time, he don't even get to do his job because I'm going straight. I walk straight to the people and I let people come, you know, but he's there to make sure my brand is protected and I'm in and out the show. He just streamlined my process because he believed I was a star at this level and I wasn't operating in that way. You know, but other than that, I haven't had to adjust too much because I'm really the same me. You know, like when I walked in here, it was people in the back. I just started hollering at people. I didn't even know where Jay was. You feel me? Like, and then just before this, I went on a walk. Like, when we touch cities, I'm moving around. Before my shows, like if you come to my show, I might be the first person you run into and see because I'm just around. I haven't had to adjust much because I'm really me. I don't whoever you see online is the nigga you gonna meet in person. So I don't have to like go in the back and put on a mask and change and have this facade. So it's really enabled me to just be active in my community and in my space still. There's no one in my community who sees me who's like, nah, that ain't you. You know, like every nigga I went to high school with is like, yeah, that's him. That's the guy we knew. You feel me? And I think that's important and vital for you to really, really be authentically yourself so you never have those issues with being yourself.
Let's do one more, and then you got him.
I had the mic for a minute.
Two more.
All right, go
two
ahead. Yeah,
more.
go ahead. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Three more.
Ladies first, do your thing.
All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Rebecca Gordon. I'm the COO of TSA Network here in Atlanta, which is the independent artist development and film production company. And I know you've mastered turning fans into stakeholders using your direct-to-consumer model. What is the biggest operational hurdle you face when scaling your independent infrastructure, and how have you overcame it and remained fully independent?
I think the biggest hurdle is finding capital and resources beyond your network. You know, as you navigate this game, there's some things that money can't get you. You know, when you indie, if you could spend your own money and run ads and run your own radio promo and do everything, you have a longer longevity because I was able to put myself in front of people without the help. But there's also things that you just can't buy. You know, like late night television and some radio, they won't let you buy. They do business with the majors all year. So one time they like, you know, we don't need this. You feel me? So I think it's just getting the capital and the resources to be able to operate at that level, because you can't compete, you know, unless you're able to really have your own foundation. And the way that we went around that was really activating our community and incentivizing people to be a part of what we was building in exchange for it.
Two more. Y'all two. Go ahead.
Yo. My name Morning After. I'm a writer, a singer, a producer. So I got a little following and I get some streams, right? And I know how to make money every way. You know what I'm saying? But how do you make money in this music? How do you make money in this music? Like, I did the thing where you said you invest in a single, as some singles go viral.
Nigga, look up. Who you talking to?
That's how I think, Doug. That's how I think.
You talking to the flow.
You know what I'm saying? So look, I did the thing where, like, I had some music go viral. I put 10 racks in it. You feel what I'm saying? It do 1 million in regards to views. I get some streams, but that stream ain't shit. You feel me? 1 million streams ain't, what is it, like $1,500? Like 2 racks or some shit like that. It's really not a lot of money.
Both for me.
It's like, yeah, you got a little something different. You know what I'm saying? But like, it's really not no money for real. So I'm like, how is niggas really making money in this? I funded my own tours. Like, I'm doing shit that makes sense. And every year feel like your first year. Mm-hmm. And I've been doing it for a little bit. So my question is like, where the money at in this shit? I know how to make money so many other ways. But in this music shit, I can't find, no matter how many streams, how much followers I get, ain't no money coming from this motherfucker. You feel what I'm saying?
The money is in the thousands. You got to scale it. The money is in the millions, is in the thousands. Like, when I was only getting 1 million streams, it ain't no money. When you start getting 100 million streams, there go the money. When you doing 250 cap shows, it ain't no money. When you start selling 1,000 tickets, there go the money. Like, it's a long tail. It's like starting a job. I mean, you don't just start off at the highest wage. You start off low, and you got to build that and work that up. If you relying on those systems, you also have to innovate new ways. Like, if you waiting on streams to pay you instead of going direct and giving people a real product to support tangibly, if I sell you a CD right now, I can make mine's offer based. I have people buying CDs for 30, 40, 50. You feel me? That's direct. That's 100,000 streams already. You feel me? Yeah. So you can skip that phase, and then I revolutionized ticking to where we did offer based, or you do the $1,000 show. I had 250 people pay $1,000. Like, you have to build something that's of value to people beyond just a song that they listen to, because then they're more incentivized to support and pay you. But streaming is like, that's passive. That's extra. You got to build something in between there to actually activate your community. That's why we did gold cards and why we sold stock and why I started doing so many shows to build community so people knew what it was worth. You feel me? But don't rely on just the stream. That should be something that's an extra on top of what you do.
And a gold card is something that, I mean, you can explain it.
So we made gold cards, which was like the first ever artist membership. It allowed people lifetime access to our shows. For Dave right here, Gilmore from the coast, and he a gold card member. He's somebody who's been, how many shows you been to? 65 shows. He's a fan. Usually some fans only see their artists one time a year. He's seen me 65 because he got a gold card. I know his moms, you know, like, it's real community and connection. And that's something that we cultivated. That ain't no stream, you feel me? So you got to really build something tangible beyond that for the money to really make sense and show up.
Good luck, sir.
Last one.
Hold on. Mr. DJ said he wanted to ask the last question. I know that was supposed to be the last.
Well,
one.
we're gonna do two because he was
okay.
waiting too. Yeah.
Go ahead, sir.
Hey, well, I appreciate you taking my question for sure. What's up, family? I'm Dr. Marcus L. Henderson. the founder of the Music Industry Academy, where I don't just teach high school students how to make music, but create brand and profit from it before they graduate. So, look, how important to you, man? You just tapped in and kind of spoke on it a little bit, but how important for the youth, as I'm standing in proxy for them right now, is community and mentorship?
How important for the youth is community and mentorship?
In this music industry now, as we stand, I see a disconnect as it relates to like mainstream artists, and a lot of what my students listen to are more underground. They don't even care about metrics. They don't understand it. So that's why we're teaching it to the students. But like, how important is the just community itself in this industry? How important is having a mentor in this industry? Is there something you can speak to the students about, or just this generation in whole?
Man, community is vital. My community allowed me to sustain when my streaming wasn't doing well. I was able to have somebody who showed up 65 times and bought merch every time. And hey, here, let me get you right on that. Like, community allows you to sustain when the world that you fighting around you to accept what you're doing don't agree yet. Like, that's your home base. That's where you're supposed to be able to go to recharge. I used to get off tour and I go do a pop-up show at the crib to just rebuild my energy and share with the people who really, really been here. Like, hey, this is what we going through. How y'all feel about it? Like, that should be your place to just recover and recuperate. That's a vital piece. And I think mentorship is necessary because a lot of the youngest now, their favorite artist is drug addicts. They're like what they learning and who they consuming and who they learning from and how they learning how to navigate the world is from a drug addict. And when you walking down the street and you see a knock on your block, you write them off because you like, man, I know that. I grew up seeing that. But when they hear it in song, they don't recognize it. You feel me? And they taking that. So it's very important for us who are mature enough to be like, hey, we know you're going to do that, but make sure you get some of this too. And putting them in environments and situations to where they could thrive and grow. Like, my crowd is kids all the way up to 80, 90 years old. And we keep it that way because I think that kids should have the same information and access as their parents and as their grandparents. That's the only way they're going to understand what we going through and fully, conceptualize it and conceive it. So we need more people to step into that role to give them the truth. You feel me?
Yeah, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
We got one last question. I'm gonna just let y'all know because LaRussell is an in and out type of guy. So he told me he wanted to be out of here by 8, but I wanted to give y'all some time to like shake hands, hugs, and things like that. I know y'all gonna do y'all collab. I'm gonna let y'all do y'all collab. I'm gonna have A-Mob come up here and tell you about some funding, and then he can come back, give y'all some love. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to let y'all know while I'm pushing the questions along. Go ahead, Amazing.
How you doing? My name DJ Amazing. I think it's an important question, right? As far as you coming up as an indie artist, how you feel about the connection between the artist and the DJ?
They forget about that, don't they?
Yeah, they forget about that.
A great DJ can make or break your show. And it's really important to have that chemistry and energy. Like, when I started off, it was just me and the DJ in the garage, and it was our energy just propelling this before we had any live instruments or anything. So I think that relationship is really vital in cultivating a plan. Even my DJ, like, every time after shows, I'll give him notes, and he'll come back with something better. And it's just the DJ's job to build the space before you hit that stage. And if your DJ somebody who like don't really care about the job and just press and play, it's gonna be different than somebody who really, really love it and who taking that job serious. Like, I've had shows where the fans was mad and their message after like, he started early, but it's because my DJ was going crazy. That nigga had me hyped. I had to come out and get busy sooner. So I think that the DJ's job is by you setting the tone and the environment for all of his fans before he even reached that stage. And it's on you to really curate what that room feels like.
Yo, like I said, but when we started the show, we did this. I need y'all to understand what I'm saying, right? Again, I don't know how to say it the right way. I just know how to say it. He came out here, he did this for free, right? Like, even with the after, like, the meet and greet with the hugs or whatever, that shit costs. You get what I'm saying? So all we asking you guys is to just download the project, right? Again, is offer based. I mean, it's not even offer based. It's pay what you want at this point, right? So if you could just go to his Instagram and get it, again, even if it's $1, nigga, even if you don't have $1, just ask me. It's fine. Like whatever. I'm being dead ass. Cause we asked him to come out here. He did this for free. It's snowing. It's cold as hell, and that's the least we can do is have him leave with more than whatever number he came in. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna let y'all. How many? You got a cap on the question? I know you said you're gonna give her some time. You got a cap on the questions? With her, you said you're gonna give her some time in the back.
Let's go knock it out.
All right, so I'm gonna let them go knock that out. A-Mob, I'm gonna bring him up here so he can talk some funding. If y'all can stay, and then LaRussell gonna come back. Now we gonna get it. We get it.